Hello and welcome. Silrace here with Mechwarrior online. So I recently got back to playing this game some, and I made a video about how I feel of the changes and all that stuff and, well, other general things. So feel free to check that out, it's on the channel as well. But this video is about maps. And I'm not really going to talk about the background footage there nicely to distract you. This is about the maps in the game. So when the game came out, there was only one game mode. There was Assault. Assault is kill all the enemy mechs or capture enemy base. These days the bases have defending turrets in them. So it's not like the old days where you could just speed into the enemy base and capture it. Back then it was also 8 versus 8, now it's 12 versus 12 as the default game size. However, maps were designed originally for just Assault in mind, because Assault was the only game mode. This goes especially for the old maps such as Frozen City, Forest Colony, Caustic Valley. All these things existed before Conquest was even added to the game. Conquest was capture multiple bases or points, hold on to it without enemy being capturing it back, to, you know, win the game eventually. Actual Conquest style game mode. And then of course there is now Skirmish, which is essentially team deathmatch. 3 different lances on one team, 3 lances on the other team, which, well, they are spawned a little bit away from each other and then typically converge together into a nice death ball on both sides and then fight it out. That's only when you kill the last mech or once the timer runs out and you have more, you know, living mechs alive still. Anyways, why do I feel there is a map problem? Because the maps were designed originally for only something, right? Frozen City or Caustic Valley, both of these maps, well, and Forest Colony as well, were just straight up designed with Assault in mind. And then Conquest got added and they just plonked the capture points on the map without adjusting the map itself to make room for Conquest, or making massive changes to the map itself when you play it in Conquest mode. It is the same exact map whether you play it in Skirmish, Assault or Conquest. And this same issue permeates itself across all of the maps. If you take a look at the current genre of shooter games, for example, let's look at Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 is a good example because it came out a little while ago. Well, a little while ago indeed. Anyways, the main reason it is a good example is because they have made some improvements in this regard, as well as has World of Tanks actually. Those games, for example, Battlefield 4 has a lot of game modes, alright? There's way too many game modes in my honest opinion, but what it has tried to do is change maps based on the game mode. Rush game mode gives you this part of this map to play with only. Team Deathmatch gets you this part of the map only. And so on. It tries to change the map based on the game mode you are playing, so that you will have best possible experience for that game mode in the map you are playing. Granted, it doesn't work for all the maps. There are still some bad rush maps, but for example, pretty much all of the rush maps were recently changed for the game, and now a lot of them are actually really enjoyable. Whereas there were a few which previously were completely unplayable because one side would always win, because they had massive advantage or whatever. World of Tanks has gone the same way. There is not that many game modes in World of Tanks, however, they have started changing the maps around in such a way that those game modes actually work on the maps. Or that the maps are changed so that people actually enjoy playing on the maps. Good example, old Komarin versus new Komarin. I'm not saying the new Komarin is perfect, it is still kind of annoying occasionally. but it is definitely much better than the age-old Komari map was. So, what do we need to see for Mechwarrior Online? I would love if they went, well, firstly they did a complete pass-through of all the maps. Because right now there are a whole lot of maps where personally I don't feel I would ever play Conquest on. Like, if I could choose the map, I would play Conquest a lot. Because there are a couple maps I actually enjoy playing Conquest on. And then there is all these other maps where I absolutely abhor Conquest because of, well, the points are placed badly, or the routes to the points takes you into places where you, well, always will get ambushed and destroyed, or where you are capturing a base in such a location that it is impossible to avoid being shot at. All sorts of the little things like that. So I don't play Conquest in this game, because I cannot choose the map I want to play the game mode in. Right. So, like I said, I want them to go through with a comb over all the maps and actually balance them out. There are some seriously old maps there, hey? Caustic Valley being a really good example. And also, I would love to see them actually make dynamic changes to the maps based on the game mode you play. It's like, if you play this map on Conquest, then the map should be different. So to, well, realize the fact that you are playing a different game mode than Assault. Same way with the skirmish, they just plonk the three different spawns right there, and occasionally you will not have a good spawn for the kind of a mech you are in because of that, and you are like, well, it takes me now half a minute longer to actually get to where the action should be going, because in majority of the cases many of the maps have certain areas where it's actually advantageous to fight at, right? So you don't go anywhere else, you go into the area where you have the advantage. And I would like to see these things changed. I would like that there are multiple areas where you could take the fight to. And I would like to see all those sorts of other stuff happen as well. So frankly, I believe Mechwarrior Online suffers the most from a massive map problem. Like I said in the, well, beginning of the video, and so all that stuff. Simply because, well, like I've already talked about this in this video, but the different game modes don't facilitate on the different maps very well, and some of the maps themselves are not overly good. Like, they need to be played with, they need to be changed or fixed in many ways. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this, well, enjoyable ramble to listen to and all that stuff. Hopefully you agree, and well, hopefully someone who is out there might take a look at this and realize that, wait, we could actually do something about this in our game. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.